Hi, my name's Mark and today I'm going over why I'm returning my iPad Pro. Now, I think I said in my last video that I was going to edit it start to finish on my iPad Pro first generation, so a few years old. And it actually did a really good job and I was pretty amazed at what that old iPad could do. So I used Luma Fusion to edit the video. I really enjoyed it. The whole process just using the iPad was completely new, and it sort of made me think, well, if my iPad can do that, what about the new iPad? Surely that's going to be faster, it's going to be better, and would make me want to pick it up more and use it. So I then actually went out that week, purchased the iPad Pro 11-inch due to the 13-inch just being around the same size as my laptop and not really wanting to carry it around. So I thought, okay, go for the 11, see what that's like, and then you can always change it in a couple of weeks. But instead I'm actually just sending it back and not getting the 13 at all. The reason for that is that even though the device is great, there's a few shortcomings. So the good is this pencil. It is truly such an improvement. It's really what the pencil should have been in the first place. I mean, just the fact that it clips onto the top and wirelessly charges is amazing, and again, it doesn't feel that much different than the other pencil. I like that you can change the tool now, instead of having to go down tapping the eraser and things like that. It's definitely improved over the older generation, but it's not a necessary massive jump in specs or anything like that, but it's what the pencil should have been in the first place. So that's the first accessory. The second, I did actually get the keyboard as well. Now, I was thinking of actually getting a keyboard for my older iPad anyway for quite a while, but I could never find one cheap enough. This was all bought new from Apple. I just bought it all at the same time. I thought if I'm going to go with the iPad, I want all the accessories to go with it to really step forward and do it all. Now, this has improved from the first generation keyboard case. Now, as you can see on the back, you can actually put it in a couple of different positions rather than just the one. That does make it a bit easier to use, but it's still nowhere near as good as being able to move it continuously like a laptop or like some of the other tablet sort of style computers have done, where like the Pixel Slate, where you can move it continuously. I think the Surface also does that. And I just feel like Apple haven't worked. This is an expensive case, and I feel like it's not really up to scratch. The keyboard itself, it's not that bad. If you're just writing some emails out, it's great, but it's not going to compare to a laptop keyboard. It's not clicky. There's not much travel in the keys. MacBooks nowadays don't really have much travel, but it just left me wanting more from the keyboard, to be honest. That one accessory was not good. Now, that leads me on to the actual iPad itself. Now, I actually really like the iPad itself. The hardware is great. The flat corners and the flat back, rather than it being curved, actually was I really liked it. Didn't like the camera bump, but it didn't seem to get in the way. Obviously with the case, that it gets rid of it anyway, but on desk, because of the size of it, it didn't really seem to tip tap like your phone does. But it was just because it's so light and easy, just sitting in bed or sitting on the sofa, it's great to just browse the web or do some things on there. It really is good for that purpose. But I wanted the iPad to not replace completely my laptop, but to do the majority of the tasks like video editing or photo editing on there. Photo editing, perfect. I found it to be for just light things like cutting out backgrounds, colour selecting, and just touching up images. That and the pencil worked amazing. But the problem is I do less and less photo editing now and go into video editing. Now, Luma Fusion, great app, absolutely great app. I can't recommend it enough. If you're trying to get into video making, you've got an iPad, download it. It doesn't matter if it's the new one, the old one, or whatever iPad you've got. Download it and try it, because for £20 you really can't go wrong for the amount of tools it has. However, I want to do more and more strenuous things on video editing, so like motion tracking, things that might require plugins and things like that, and you just couldn't do those extra things that I wanted to learn or I want to get better at on the iPad, which then led me to believe that, okay, if I can't do that, what am I going to actually use it for? Am I just going to sit on the sofa with it and watch some YouTube or take it on planes? Because if that's all it's going to be for, it's an expensive toy. Now, I do have a MacBook as well, a 13-inch Pro, and it is heavy to put in a bag and just carry around for if you're not going to actually need it. Whereas the iPad, you could always just chuck it in there, and if you need it, it's there. But the situations that I do need it in, so I'm going on holiday, I'd like to store photos, videos and things like that, and maybe edit them as well. I think the iPad would have fit in, but then file management, you're then going to have to get home, do all that, and then put it on my Mac Mini or something like that. And I just feel like that's extra steps that I shouldn't actually have to take. If I can take my MacBook, do all that, and then put it on a hard drive and put it on my Mac Mini, then that's it done. I don't have to get another device out and do it when I'm home. It's already done. So I just feel the iPad's at a stage in its life where it's getting better. I mean, this with USB-C, it's on its way to replacing a laptop. But without a file management system and the OS just holding it back that bit more, it's not going to get there. And Apple knows that. I reckon they will implement a file system. Apps are starting to come over, obviously Adobe Photoshop, the full thing, not just some Rush or whatever like that. It's the full thing that's coming over on this, and I think that's a great first step. Adobe's a massive creative tool for everyone, and I think if you got Adobe Cloud onto the iPad and had their sort of file system on there, I think that would work very well. But all of these things require other people and other companies to see the iPad's potential, which again, more are starting to, but it's too much of a gamble at the moment. For almost £1,200, this and the two accessories all together, £1,200 a lot of money. You can buy a pretty good MacBook for that, or find a good second-hand one. So for me, if you've got an iPad already, download those apps, go out there and try it. But if you're trying to choose between an iPad or a MacBook or other laptops that you want to video edit it and do things like that on, I would recommend the MacBook/laptop, because you're going to get to a stage with this where you're going to either outgrow it, or you're going to need a laptop as well. And yes, there is people out there doing great things on this, and I don't think this is a bad product, but I think it has a long way to go. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you liked the video. It's just sort of me rambling why I'm sending it back. I also want to do a video on the Moment lenses. I've been heavily interested in them. I ordered anamorphic wide lens, the new tele lens, but actually ended up cancelling a few. I'll explain in the next video. Please subscribe and like for more videos. Thank you.